Do all marriages have many years where they suck? 8 years in my personal experience has been life sucks, but the person I'm with doesn't during those times. I personally can't relate to people who say they are miserable and imply it's a result of their partner themselves. Maybe I just lucked out, but we haven't really encountered this much. Things happen in life that suck and can suck even for years: illnesses, finances, family crap, etc. But my partner makes those things better, not worse. So don't view it as being married sucks. Life sucks, and being married means you go through that with someone else, and it can range in difficulty depending on your partner. Indeed, the nuance in marriage is recognizing that the union isn't a constant high. At 15 years in, I can attest to the peaks and valleys we've navigated. The key, I believe, is mutual resilience and the determination to evolve together. It's not the presence of challenges, but the manner in which you face them together that strengthens the bond. Life throws curvy balls: job losses, health scares, parenting hurdles, but having a partner who's your steadfast teammate makes all the difference. It's less about the struggles you encounter and more about the solidarity you cultivate in the midst of those struggles. This solidarity doesn't erase the hard times, but it certainly brightens the path you walk on together. Remember, even if the road is bumpy, it's the shared laughter, the whispered support, and the silent understanding that make the journey worthwhile. Marriage isn't about riding out the storms, but rather dancing in the rain together. Everything that lasts a very long time is going to have some parts that suck. Marriages are no different than any other relationship. You need to put effort into them to maintain them. It's been 20-ish years. I wouldn't say any years have sucked, let alone many. There have been times where there's been struggles, either with each other or due to external forces, but I've never not loved them. I would say that the times with struggles have been times when we've unintentionally neglected our relationship, either because we've been under stress, work-related, or deal with elderly parents, or just life in general, or because we've taken our bond for granted. During those times we have to work a bit harder to reconnect and nurture our relationship, but our bond and love is never broken. We don't always agree with each other, but we learn to compromise or just agree to disagree. I have never hated my spouse and would be very surprised to hear they felt that way towards me. Struggles and disagreements don't mean a marriage sucks. It's just part of all relationships: romantic, familiar, friendships, or work. If a marriage is sucking for many years, something needs to be done, because that's not a healthy way to live, and the relationship won't improve without putting in some hard work. Several years ago, I read an interesting article about how every marriage goes through specific milestones at specific years where they have trouble, and it made a lot of sense. I googled it, and while this might not be the best source, I think it does a good enough job with the concept, at least some of it real life. HTTPS. Pretty sure there's another milestone around the 20th anniversary as well, as you become empty nesters. 34 years with my wife, we have had tough times, money, kids, life, but we made it really well. We worked as a team, kept our shit together. We are 66 and 61, retired, mortgage-free, and no financial worries or debt. Still having the best times of my life with the woman I love and my buddy. This is our 26th year. Everything has been great so far. Can't see any reason why this won't continue. Marriage is hard, people are fickle, and life changes all the time. The real test in any relationship is whether both sides still want to make it work enough to get through the hard times. An entire life spent single will have ups and downs. A life shared with someone else is no different. To be brutally honest about it, marriage as a concept emerged when the average life expectancy was somewhere between 40 and 50, so a 20-year marriage was the majority of your adult life. These days we live a lot longer, and our expectations and understanding of a successful marriage really need to adjust in response. Not mine. We have our ups and downs, but communication usually solves it all. Also, you need to find a couple that has a similar view of life expectations. 15 years married, 2 kids. It's not marriage that sucks, it's life that sucks. I've been through the roughest shit, but having my husband by my side has made all that shit easier because I don't have to carry the burden alone. But I've always said that being with the right kind of person makes life 10 times easier. Being with the wrong kind of person makes life 100 times harder. In a way, it's a lot like group work in school. You want someone you work well with, someone who matches your strengths and weaknesses, someone who you know will have your back when shit hits the fan, someone you know will speak up when you hit a snag, who will call you out on your BS when you're being an idiot, who you respect enough to listen to, someone who will respect you enough to listen to you in turn. If you're not willing to put the effort into a relationship to make it work, then just never get married. Relationships require work. This doesn't just mean romantic ones, either. Marriages require work. Marriage is committing to someone that you're willing to do takes to make it work, even in the rough times. If you're not willing to work through conflict, then don't get married. Period. I read somewhere that being in love is like attending 10,000 funerals, because you're going to watch 10,000 versions of that person die over time. Marriage requires mutual foundational values for this purpose. Been with my wife for 44 years since high school. We're planning our 40th anniversary. Ups and downs, but you don't bail at the first sign of trouble. Either you're committed to each other or you're not. We couldn't be happier right now, and I can't imagine finishing out this life without her. Like others have said, it's not that you're miserable, it's just life sucks sometimes, and the marriage can get hard. I remember this episode from Boy Meets World where Corey's parents talked about this, said things along the lines of, remember year 7-9? Or year 6 was straight out of a horror show. I feel it's like that. Some time periods are worse than others, but you didn't marry your spouse for not just all the good. You did it knowing you married someone who will be strong and endure with you during the rough times. Married for 19 years so far. There are good years, there are bad years. Bad years entail more fights, less affection towards each other, easily frustrated by little things, etc. Usually they are caused by outside forces, like money is tighter that year, or work is more stressful, family issues on either side, etc. But things do tend to get better. Communication is the key. These comments make me hate the world a lot less. I'm married 7 years, together for 12. My wife was and is my best friend, and the reason I'm able to endure a lot of crap. Situations happen, sometimes are shitty, fights are sometimes harsh, but she makes me get through the storm. I wouldn't be able to do it without her. And the best thing, she says the same about me. Think I really hit the main prize. Not every marriage, but it's far from unusual. I don't think it's unhappy and horrible in those times, it's just not a honeymoon period. Shit happens. People get hurt. Finances get tight. Work sucks. Kids. Busy schedules. Mental health struggles, you name it. It doesn't mean you're unhappy, but it's a rough patch that can last a while. But with communication and teamwork you do pull through, and it's amazing. Unfortunately, people often leave during these times. But if you think you're going to have a long-lasting marriage and have it be roses and butterflies every single day, then don't get married. You have two humans coexisting and then throwing various issues at them that they can't control and adding in all sorts of variables. It's just going to happen. That's why it's important to choose the right person and get married for the right reasons. Nope. Been married 20 years. Obviously there are ups and downs, but never a down that lasted longer than a few days. Of course, I am just one example. So take my anecdotal evidence as you will.